All right, y'all, so after many months of research, I finally decided on the fish finder I'm gonna go with this year, and that is the Garmin UHD 93SV. There's a lot of reasons why I chose this unit, and I'm gonna go over them in today's video, but today we're gonna unbox this unit and get it installed on the Kayak. Y'all stick around. All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, my name's TJ. Welcome to Kayak USA. Today, like I just said, we're gonna unbox this bad boy and get it installed on the Kayak. But first, I wanna tell you why I went with this unit, because a lot of you guys are gonna have questions like that. I've used Lowrance for a long time on my kayaks, and I like to use helixes on the bass boat. But I've done a lot of research these past few months, and I've got a couple of buddies that are running Garmins, and they're really liking them. So after digging deep into the Garmin world, I've never used a Garmin fish finder, that is. I really like them. Like everything that I found, the compatibility with them, the user-friendly interface with them, the touch screen, like everything seems really nice on these units, but that's just part of it. The main thing is I want to add live scope at some point to my kayak. I want to be able to fish with live scope, because for their live view image versus everyone else's, Garmin's 10 times ahead of everybody. So that's what I want to go with later on. And this unit is Panoptix sonar ready. So you can plug a live scope straight to this unit later on and use it along with the transducer that this comes with. So I can still use my down view, I can still use my side view, and then later on we can add live view to this bad boy, the Panoptix system, and just dial in on the fish, watch them swim under the boat, fish right on top of the brush piles, and see the fish eat the bait. Can't wait to do that. But first we got to start with the first step, because it is kind of pricey, I'm not gonna lie. The live scope is right now, I think the live scope's around $1,400 or $1,500 just for the transducer, but you also have to have a unit that's compatible with it so you can actually see what your transducer is looking at. So that's why I went with this unit. In the long run, I do plan on having live scope on this boat. I want to get some really cool footage of us crappie fishing, just pulling them out of the water left and right. You can actually see your lure floating around down there. I mean, it's gonna be really cool. But so today we're gonna unbox this bad boy. We'll go over to the bench, we'll go through it, set everything up, get it installed. Now, we're gonna install it today on the side of my kayak on the H rail. I am gonna change that when we add the live view later, or the live scope later. I'll probably switch it to like a front mount, so we'll add another H rail across here so we can have it facing the seat like this. But today, for now, while we don't have the live scope and we're just gonna be running the clear view, the side view transducer that it come with, we're just gonna set it up on the right side of my kayak so that I can operate it and zoom in and stuff like that. So, but first thing we gotta do is get this bad boy open. All right, so there is a few other things that we're gonna be installing with this today, and I figured I'd show them to you real quick because it's stuff that I have to install this unit on my kayak. And I found out that Burley Pro makes a Garmin side view. This is a transducer mount that fits the Lowrance pocket for the Hobie Pro Angler that I have. So the way those Hobie Pro Anglers come, they come with their own little transducer pocket up under the bottom, and they're designed for Lowrance units. So this company named Burley Pro actually makes different cases that you can mount up under there for different units. They got a Humminbird, they got Lowrance for side view and stuff like that, but they also have the Garmin side view and clear view. This is the one that I need for my boat. I had it ordered. It's here today. We're gonna install that. And this is what I'm gonna go with on the side of my H rail today. Now, like I said, we will end up changing the location of it to the center of the boat in the front. But for now, we're gonna go with the Railblazer. This is just a side mount, or Railblazer is what they call it. But this is what we're gonna put on the side rail today. It's got its little holder, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna mount it to the rail and all that in just a minute. But now I wanna give one more quick note. Well, actually two. We're gonna be powering everything for a while before we add the main battery on this thing, because I do plan on putting the trolling motor on the bow in the future. But for now, we're gonna be running everything off the Ice Hole Power Adventure box. Can y'all even see it? It's not even in frame, is it? So if you've been watching my channel for a long time, if you're a subscriber, you know what this is. This is the Ice Hole Power Adventure box. This has got a couple of lithium batteries in it, 12 amp hours each. So this will last us a whole weekend if we wanted to run the unit. So that's what we're gonna power everything with. And I'm not affiliated with these guys, but this is where I've picked up my Garmin. And I do want to give them a shout out because, like I said, I'm not affiliated with them, but they had it at my front door in 3 days. There was no tax, no shipping. I got that unit for $6.99, and that unit goes everywhere else for $8.99. So I got a steal of a deal on that thing, and it comes with a transducer. So thebasstank.com, thanks. I really appreciate it. If you want to work together in the future, hit me up. All right, so now let's get the Garmin over here. We'll unbox it and see what all's in that box and get it put on the kayak. All right, so this is the EchoMap UHD 93SV Plus transducer. This comes with Navionics data. This is what you get. It comes with its own cover, which is awesome, because I think Lowrance, you actually have to buy your cover separate. So we got our cover for it. Ta-da! There's our actual unit. And there's an ambulance going by my house. Here's one of the best parts right here. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, that's nice. Super thin too. And a really cool thing about these Garmin's is how they hook up. So you can pop this on and off without unplugging your cords every single time, because the base is what holds the power and everything else for it. So you can actually just pop it on and off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. So, but for now, let's throw this cover on so we don't scratch it up and set it to the side. We got us a decal for the kayak. And here is the base that I was telling you guys about. So this is what you actually mount on the kayak or on your boat, and there's your plug right there. So your transducer, all of your ports, your Panoptix port right there. I can't wait till we got something to plug into that one. But sonar, power, everything plugs into this, and you just leave it plugged up. And whenever you want to take your unit off, you just pop the face off and put it in your case or in your truck or wherever you're keeping it. So let's see. Just like that. It's plugged up. It's not even that thick. I mean, it's pretty thin. This bag has got our transducer in it. This bag has our power in it. Transducer, and I was curious on how this looks in person. Oh yeah, that's a good looking transducer right there, if I do say so myself. There's Garmin on the bottom. That's a nice transducer cable too. All the hookups. I mean, this is really a high quality. This is much, I hate to say it because I used Lowrance for so long, but just unboxing this is letting me know the quality difference in Garmin versus Lowrance. Unless you buy like a $5,000 Lowrance unit, you do not get this kind of quality with a $600 Lowrance unit. I'll just say that now. I'm kind of curious on these power cables here, why there's more than just two here. All right, so I figured out what the extra wires for on the power cable. The brown and blue are data cables. So if I'm gonna run more than one unit, which I'm not, you would hook them up to the next unit and it would transfer the data back and forth from the units. I may need it for the Panoptix live scope later, so what I'm gonna do is heat shrink it up and keep it protected inside of the hull of the kayak. That way I don't damage it. But we will need the red and black wires, of course, for the power. And then it's just a transducer cable after that. This should be a very easy install. So I'm not gonna stretch this out. This is not gonna be a how-to install video, but what I'm gonna do, throw you guys some cheesy music to listen to real quick. I'll do a little quick install and then I'll stop the camera and we'll cut it on for the first time and see how it looks. So let's get this bad boy hooked up and on the boat. All right, so it is the next morning. I ended up working out here all night doing a whole bunch of extra stuff that I really didn't need to film for you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull you guys off the tripod and I'm just gonna walk you all the way through everything, show you a few things that I built last night. I ended up being here way too late, made a huge mess, but I got it all cleaned up. Made me a little mount back here for my bump board. That's gonna be pretty cool. I'll show you guys that, but I'll also show you how I ran all the wires, got everything hooked up, and then we'll turn the Garmin on and check it out. So I try to do this with all of my units that I install on boats and kayaks. As you can see, I've got it in the same stuff that I made all of my rod socks with. Now, these rod socks are easy to make. You can get this stuff off of Amazon really cheap. I've actually got a video on how to make your own rod socks for, I think, less than $1 a piece if you wanted to do that. But I'll link the video for that here. But I've got a whole lot of that same stuff left over, and I like to use it to run wires. So I've got my power wire and my transducer wire run through here. I always use some heat shrink whenever they're connected, and it kind of seals everything up, makes it clean, and it just gives the whole overall unit, the install job, you know, really nice and clean. And I did the same thing with the power wire. Let me just show you in here. I don't have me a bucket for this hobby yet. Gotta get me one of those that goes in here. So I've got my wires in here, got them zip tied to there, and here's my power wire, and I made it extra long. So I'm using 14 gauge wire, red and black. It runs all the way up and then connects to my inline fuse for the Garmin, which is right here. Got everything kind of taped up, and everything just kind of stays out of the way. And then it runs all the way to the back. You won't be able to see none of that, but it runs all the way to the back and comes out right under the seat. Let me move this stuff out of the way. If I can do this with one hand, there we go. So I got it where it comes right out beside the transducer plug back there in the back, if you guys can see that. But it comes out of the kayak right there, and then it plugs right into the back of my Ice Hole Power Adventure box. And I'm doing it this way on this kayak because I will eventually have a trolling motor on the front. So I'm gonna end up with a lithium battery somewhere on the boat, back here in the back probably. And I don't want to drill a whole bunch of extra ports, add USB ports and stuff like that. Like you guys are used to me installing stuff like this, which I was gonna put on the boat. It's got the old 12-volt plugs, got the USB plugs. And I think I'm gonna wait and just do it this way. This way I can charge my phone by using the built-in USB ports where they're right here. I can turn the power on. I know how much juice I got left in my batteries, but everything's self-contained right here up under my seat. And when I'm done fishing, I can literally just unplug my unit right here, leave the cord there under my seat, and take my box and batteries off into the house and charge them whenever I need to. So anyway, that's how I'm gonna run that. Here's the other thing I was gonna show you. I built this last night. Let me go to the other side. So after I got into installing this, I just turned the TV on and I ended up out here building all kind of stuff. But I needed a good way. I had my last kayak, I built a way to carry my bump board without it being in my way. And I wanted to do that for this boat. So I come up with this little deal here. I made these. So these are Yak-Squad, I think they're like 90-degree mounts, like gear track mounts or whatever. And I used 2 of them there and 2 of them right down here. Let's see if I can zoom in down there for you. Put 2 of them right there. And I just have this PVC plastic that I use for a bunch of small projects around the shop. But I cut me some square pieces, bolted them to that, put some little foam here. And I used a piece of bungee, drilled a hole in this side if it'll focus. And then I did a hole on this side, but I slotted it so that I could pull it over and go under. And then just a simple knot right here that holds it. And then this end, I believe this is Yak-Squad too. This is one of the bump board mounts or measuring board or whatever you want to call them. The way this works is I can slide my board behind my seat. I can do this with one hand and film, trying to look at the camera, but it just slides into the mount like that. And then I just set it down on this end. I got my cord already hooked up. I'll pull the cord over,
lock it down just like that. And it's right behind the seat. And once you do that, it ain't going nowhere. And then I can keep it behind me, out of my way. And if I'm in a tournament or fishing, I can just reach to the side, unhook this, and whip it out and measure my fish. But my fish usually hang off the end of this thing. This is only 30 inches long, and my bass usually just hang. I'm just joking. They don't. Mine usually make it around to the 8 to 9 inch mark, right past my decal here. But anyway, so now I've got the Garmin mounted up on the H rail. You can kind of flip this up, spin it around, and I did cheat. I went ahead last night and powered it up and did the first update. And I'm gonna tell you, I love this thing. So do we got our box on? I think I turned it back off, didn't I? Let's see, turn our power box on, put my seat back, just like that. Now we got power. Boom. But it boots up, hit I agree, and then boom. And we've got the active captain already, it's all set up. I've got my memory card in, I've already updated some maps. You got your sonar. This is your down view, your clear view they call it. There's traditional, I guess called chirp. It don't look good in here because it's out of water obviously, but what does look good is the charts. This is what I'm talking about. So we go to navigation or fishing, pull up fishing. As you can see, I was already zoomed in on my local lake where I like to fish, but the detail is amazing already. I mean, I don't know how good it's showing on camera, and the touch screen, it's so good. It's almost, I mean, it's like an Apple phone. It feels like anyway, but you can see where I've already practiced marking some stuff. A little spot I like to fish off of this. There's a hump right here that goes back into this old creek, but you can zoom in. And what's cool is I can find a spot like right here, this old bed here. You double tap it, you can navigate to it, create a waypoint, measure the distance from where you're at to there, add information. It's really, really cool. Then you just hit back, pull back out of it, zoom back out. Then if you wanted to, you could actually go to, oh, let me stop. I think you got to swipe up every time. Oh, stop panning. Oh, okay, now it brought me back home. But let's see, how do you, there we go. Oh, now I'm getting a call. I forgot that I've got it hooked to my phone. Hold on. Of course, it was a spam call. Anyway, but now as you can see, I was fixing to show you guys that you can actually link this to your phone. So by Bluetooth, I have this thing hooked to my phone. So if you get a phone call when you're on the water, it'll actually pop up and tell you who's calling or whatever like that, which is obviously just some spam call about my truck's extended warranty. But so when you back out, you can go back and you go back to charts. Let's see, that was fishing. You go to navigation, and it's all so much different. Now you can see where I'm at in the world, right there in Sweet Home, Alabama. You zoom in, you go find your lakes. You can go up here to Gunnersville. There's where Norby's at. You can scroll right on down into Norby's home lake, or not home lake, but it is his home lake now. It's where he lives now. And this is where he catches all them monster bass right through here. It's really, really cool. But when you're done, you can just hit stop panning. It'll take you right back to where I'm at. So adding this Garmin unit just gets us one step closer to having live scope on this kayak. So if you've been following me for a long time, you know I wanted the 14-footer for a long time. I got rid of the old banana boat, which was actually, it looked just like this. It was just the PA-12 and a little bit older, but now that I've got the boat that I want, I really want to rig it out. I'm gonna do every mod right here on this channel with you guys. I'm gonna finish building out this kayak trailer. We got the kayak camping trailer build behind the camera there that I'm working on still. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming, but that Garmin on the boat just puts us one step closer to having that live scope. I really wanna fish with live scope off a kayak. We're gonna add spot lock to this boat in the front of the boat this year. Do a lot of cool stuff to this thing. I'm gonna wrap it like we did the last one. So if this is a first video you've seen of mine and you like what you see, make sure you give me a thumbs up. If you like stuff like this, I've got a channel, go check it out. My homepage has got a ton of videos just like this with trailer builds, kayak fishing, camping,
camper builds, all kind of cool stuff. And if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate all the support from all of my followers. If you want to support the channel even further, you can click that join button right up under the video, become a member of the Yak-Squad. It's a great community. And yeah, we're gonna have an awesome 2022, guys. I really appreciate you watching, sticking around to the end. It helps my channel algorithm a whole lot when you watch my videos all the way through like this. And I guess I'll catch you guys next Thursday at 2 o'clock. Peace.